Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. I was just wanted to make a part two continuation video on the previous one in which I talked about EDD and how they rejected my documentation that I submitted that proved that I was in the process of starting my own business prior to the pandemic. And on that video, I explained that they basically didn't tell me why they denied my submission for the business license. They just basically told me that they were not going to accept it, and that I needed to submit some sort of additional documentation or something else, like a 1099 form or a W-2 form or a check stub or something to that effect. Well, yesterday I got an email from a representative that works directly with the assemblyman's Mr. Quirk's office here in Alameda County. And what I basically informed them was to see if they can reach out to EDD on my behalf and get some sort of an explanation, a specific reason as to why they turned it down. Well, it turns out that not only did I have to submit a business license, but that I also had to submit a business plan, a business model, a concrete, specific plan outlined on how I was going to basically be self-employed and generate income on my own, providing my services or my products or services or whatever the case may be. But my understanding was, when I received the notification originally last month, that one of the options was to submit your business license, that the business license was going to be sufficient for you to show proof that you were actually going to be self-employed. Well, turns out that wasn't the case. Turns out that you need more information. You need to attach a business model to your business license in order to be considered and basically clear that hurdle of showing proof. Now, like I said in my previous video, I am not surprised one iota that EDD is changing the goalpost, metaphorically speaking. I've had so many issues with these guys in the last 10 years. I've only applied for EDD once in my life prior to the pandemic, and even then they just made my life miserable, because back in 2014 I actually was laid off from my employer, and I didn't immediately apply for unemployment benefits until about 3 to 4 months after the fact, because, like I said, I had never previously applied for unemployment benefits, so I was very naive, I guess, and didn't realize that I could actually apply for unemployment benefits if you got laid off or resigned or whatever the case may, not resigned, but got laid off or fired by an employer. And apparently, when I submitted my claim 3 to 4 months after I got laid off, they approved it. They started paying me my benefits every 2 weeks. But then when I had my phone interview with a representative from EDD, we started having a discussion. I went into specifics. I told them that I had been laid off in December of 2014. They gathered all the notes about our conversation, turned around, contacted my employer, and then EDD came back to me in a notification once again, and they told me that my employer had not authorized any type of unemployment benefits, because they hadn't, apparently they hadn't submitted those funds like any regular company does with their employees, in the event that happens, when they get laid off or when the company goes out of business or whatever the case may be. And so EDD basically made me repay those benefits. So I had to pay all the money that I received back to them. And despite the fact that, I think I deserve those benefits, because I had indeed gotten laid off. To my knowledge, I don't think there's a statute of limitation where you have to submit a claim to EDD once you get fired or laid off from a company. Bottom line is, they owed me this money. Even if I applied 6 months down the line or 4 months after I got laid off, doesn't matter. I needed to receive these unemployment benefits, and because I qualified for them, but EDD made me repay those benefits. So here we are again, same situation, much more magnified because of the amount of time that I was unemployed, and the amount of benefits, the dollar figure that I received throughout the course of my unemployment stint. And now, more than likely, if I don't come up with a business model to go along with my business license by February the 9th, more than likely I'm going to have to pay my benefits back. I'm going to have to repay everything back in installments or whatever, or maybe one lump sum. I don't know how it works. In the previous, back in 2014, I actually made payments, but on this occasion, I have no idea, how this is going to work out. But I'm just confused, as to why EDD is making people do this. 6, 7, 8 months after the PUA and the PUEC programs concluded. I understand that, back in 2020 it was an emergency, a health emergency nationwide, and that they were receiving an overwhelming amount of claims, and that obviously they were not going to be able to vet every single one of the claimants, because if that happened, it would take them forever to release the funds for people that needed them. But I mean, at this point, why doesn't the federal government just drop the requirement? I mean, why don't they just move on? I mean, it was a natural, once in a lifetime occurrence that basically forced all of us, against our will, to stop working for an amount, for a next amount of time. I just don't understand why EDD is making it so difficult. But again, I'm not surprised, given the fact that these guys have had so many complaints by so many people in the past, not just with all the this pandemic debacle that has been taking place over the last year, but prior to that, a lot of people had already complained about the archaic way of conducting business on the part of EDD, and how difficult they make it for everybody. So I just wanted to make this video. Hopefully it helps someone out there that might be going through a similar situation than I am going, that perhaps was thinking about submitting a business license, a person that might be self-employed, or that was in the process of becoming self-employed prior to the pandemic. Just to let you know, in my experience, the business license wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to show proof that you were, like I said, that you were going to start your own business when the pandemic hit. You're going to need a business model as well as a business license. Even though on their website it's clearly outlined that one of the parameters, or one of the documents that can clear you from their database, is just showing the business license, but apparently that's not enough. So anyway, just wanted to make this video about this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video, I guess.